What's happening guys, King GBL here, and welcome back to a brand new Ultra League video. Today I'm showcasing a very strong team that I just came up with yesterday, featuring Pidgeot, Swampert and Annihilape. The idea behind this team is that Pidgeot's weak to Electric and weak to Registeel. Swampert and Annihilape both do very fine into those. The matchup between Annihilape and things like Ampharos is pretty neutral, and of course very dominant for Swampert. And also yesterday I was just seeing an absolute ton of Skeledirge and a bunch of fire types in the back. When I was using this team for 15 battles with Swampert in the back, I only seen one Skeledirge. So go figure guys, I guess the meta shifted overnight and I just stopped seeing them. However, whenever I switch back to my Sandslash team, guess what I seen 7 out of 10 games? Yep, that's correct, Skeledirge. Go figure, I guess that's just a coincidence, but the Swampert and Pidgeot core is still pretty strong. What I ended up noticing is, I was going for Feather Dance, like okay, I'm going to debuff the opponent, they have to shield it, it's a Brave Bird. People are sick of this little trick, so I just started Brave Birding a lot of things. Or actually, sometimes I didn't Brave Bird and it was a mistake, they just let the moves go. So I recommend if you're using Pidgeot, run it with like an ABB team or some sort of team like this. Brave Bird and dip and you should be in a very good position. This team is pretty accessible for most people. If you don't have XL candies for Pidgeot, it's a 1 kilometer body, so it should be very quick to get those. Now in this battle right here, we get the boost, which is absolutely huge. The opponent's going to go for a dirty Icy Wind here. But what I really like about Annihilape in this meta, in the Ultra League, it's even thicker than Great League against Counter, right? Like counters just do absolutely nothing. I don't even show the opponent my final Pokemon, and we take it out. Anyway guys, let's hop on into the battles. Today's a bit of a shorter video, so if you could do me a quick favor, drop a like in the video, it helps out an absolute ton, and subscribe if you do enjoy today's video. So yeah, here's a perfect example, right? What I like to do is shield up the first move, and just YOLO the Brave Bird. The opponents are like, okay, they're shielding up, they're going to debuff me. Nope, we're just going to nuke you. The opponent brings in their Ampharos, I'll do 1 wing attack so I can get an extra wing attack of energy, and I look to go into Annihilape. This is like a pretty neutralish matchup. And the opponents are inclined to shield up those Night Slashes. By the way, I don't know if you should be using Night Slash or Ice Punch in Ultra League. I did quite like Night Slash because as you've seen in the first game, we did get the boost, which is quite nice. And it is quite nice having a cheaper move. As you can see in this exact situation, we would not have had an Ice Punch, but we do have a Night Slash. So it's working out pretty nicely here. I'm going to have to throw 1 move no matter what. And sometimes what happens is, see if you look on the bottom right, it looks like I was going to get to the Feather Dance, but not get to the Brave Bird. I could have just went for the Brave Bird here. So I think you just need to be very cognizant of your counts with Pidgeot and know like exactly when you get to the moves and stuff like that. There was at least 2 or 3 occasions in this video where I threw a Feather Dance when I could have just Brave Birded. The opponent goes for the big Focus Blast, and that basically seals their fate here at this point. I'm just going to build up back-to-back Hydro Cannons. I don't need to go for an Earthquake. 1 Hydro Cannon for this, 1 Hydro Cannon for the Charizard. The Charizard, probably not getting to a move anyway, but I just want to make sure of it. I'd rather go for a Hydro Cannon than try to Mudshot it down, and then somehow get off a Blast Burn and KO me. I probably live a Blast Burn, but no real point risking it, and in comes Trevenant, the absolute dream lead for Pidgeot, and in comes Registeel, the dream swap. Now, what I realized about this matchup here is that Trevenant can Registeel can force a shield off Annihilape, which is kind of annoying, because as you're about to see here, they basically pace equally to the Zap Cannons as we pace to Shadow Ball. 1 Shadow Ball does not KO. So what you could try to do is go for a Night Slash boost and then go for the Shadow Ball. I did end up trying that out later on, but we do get a full counter down, and that is just an absolute ton of energy. We're going to go straight for the Night Slash. The opponent probably will respect this. Night Slash number 1 coming through. We're going to go for the Shadow Ball this time. Even though we are debuffed, this should do a lot of damage. The opponent says, you know what, fuck this, I'm out. Good games. We end up going 3-2 in the first set, and that's basically what I went with this team, like 3-2s all over. Now we have a Galarian Weezing in the lead. What are we going to do? Look where I'm tapping, look where I'm tapping. I'm not tapping for the Feather Dance, I'm tapping for the big Brave Bird. I could respect this overheat, but I thought they would probably go for the bait. But like Pidgeot's pretty tanky in the Ultra League. Boom, Brave Bird coming through, and we're basically going to shield and farm it the whole way down. The opponent's attack's debuffed. Fairy Wind does not have any fast move pressure, so we're basically going to come out with another Brave Bird for something, and this is going to put us in a good position. Now they come in with a Tentacruel. It's a bit of an awkward Pokemon for Annihilape to deal with, and we're down a shield. So I decide, okay, we're going to stay right here. I could have went for the debuff, a pretty obvious shield, but it's like whenever you go for the Brave Bird and the shielded, it can be kind of rough. But if they no shield the Feather Dance, it's like, yeah, well, now they're going to get extra farm, and it's not really going to help me that much. I'm coming in, I'm going to go straight for the EQ, no point messing about. As you can see, that 1 Scald was not threatening. I was afraid of getting Acid Sprayed here, but I decided it actually would not help them to Acid Spray me because they're not going to be able to farm me down. I go for an Overfarm, and I believe I wait a turn and look to throw off the Earthquake here. Boom, doesn't quite KO, and in comes the Lantern. This should be basically curtains for the opponent here. We still have a fully healthy, not a fully healthy, but a healthy enough Swampert. And by the looks of things, look, we're CMPing the opponent on 8 here. Now, if we were an Ice Punch, this could be getting a little bit tricky, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 CMP on the Surf. So I'm not sure if an Ice Punch actually KOs from here. but this Night Slash will definitely KO. So that's a very, very good situation to be in. Of course, the Tentacruel was so low, but you can see in that situation, like, having that Night Slash just makes things a little bit more straightforward. Pidgeot versus Gliscor. I think I'm horny for the debuff in this matchup here. So yeah, we're going to go for this. The reason I don't go for Brave Bird sometimes is because I can't really swap out. This is like my main answer to this, apart from Swampert, right? They only have Night Slash that can hit me. So I'd rather just tank a Night Slash, fire off a Feather Dance, right? And then look to go for a Brave Bird the second time round. Because if you don't KO them, they can basically start spamming Night Slashes and take you out. I decided to go for it this time, no reason not to. It's kind of my lose con to not go for Brave Bird here. Boom, the opponent lets it free, and they come into an Ampharos. Whenever that happens, I like to just do one wing attack and swap, get an extra wing attack of energy, preserve some health on it, and then basically swap into Annihilate to start countering it down. Actually, maybe I'll make the showcase about Annihilate. Annihilate done very, very well in this video. The opponent does catch the Night Slash, which is kind of unfortunate. However, we do still get to the Shadow Ball, and if the opponent does not respect this, this is going to do an absolute ton of damage to the Poliwrath. One amazing thing about Annihilate here is it is such a strong answer to Poliwrath in the Ultra League. In the Great League, it's a little bit dicey, but like I said earlier, double resisted counters in the Ultra League is very, very noticeable, and the moves do much less, so you have a lot more wiggle room, and it's not quite as easy for Poliwrath to cheese through it. We're back in here with Swampert versus Ampharos. We'll put up a Cautionary Shield, but yeah, they've already shown Thunder Punch, and of course that was the Brutal Swing, so we should be basically chilling at this point. I think the opponent will start seeing the writing on the wall. We'll let this move go through. It's like, yeah, you know what? Here you go, buddy. Have your Brutal Swing. That's how much damage it does. You're not going to farm me down. And I think the opponent realizes, yeah, you know, the Brutal Swings just aren't doing enough. And Swampert is too spammy, so good games. And hopping into the next one, we have a Tentacruel lead. Tentacruel, a Pokemon that I do want to build for Ultra League. It is very, very powerful. And that's one of the reasons I started using this team. I just noticed that the Pidgeot and Swampert core has a lot of play into teams like this. And in comes a Giratina. This is quite interesting. We'll see if they want to shield up the Shadow Ball. It would do a lot of damage. They do shield it up. So yeah, basically I'm happy enough to let this go. Pidgeot's a pretty hard wall for this thing. What is the opponent going to throw? They do throw a Shadow Sneak, so Pidgeot basically completely walls this Pokemon. Dragon Claws won't really be adding up too much, so we can basically get a huge overfarm and we should be chilling here. We're going to bring back in the Pidgeot and basically commit to the entire farm down here. The opponent's going to fire off a move. It should just be a Dragon Claw, or so I thought. The opponent's on Ancient Power. Ancient Power, ladies and gents. Or an Ancient Power Shadow Sneak. What's going on? What's going on, buddy? I'm not sure if the opponent is just out of TMs or if that's their actual moveset, but that leaves you very, very weak to a lot of things. You basically have to use Dragon Claw and Giratina and choose one of the other moves. I can sort of understand that as a safe swap, so maybe that is quite a smart play. In comes Tenta versus Swampert. I'm going to try to keep farming this to get energy for the other side. I let this through. I probably could shield it, but I'm thinking, okay, yeah, they've got Annihilate in the back. This is basically game over. I'm not sure if they got the debuff or not. I think they did. Yeah, they definitely did. That Hydro Cannon done nothing. And of course, we're non-Shadow. I do YOLO the Earthquake, very, very hopefully here, but I think just the opponent getting such a foothold there with the Giratina in the middle match really just made it difficult for me to win that one. And here's a Giratina lead, fantastic lead, unless they're in Dragon Breath. As you can see, this is very, very neutral. And the opponent actually goes straight for a Dragon Claw. So I can let this first one go. It's not an Ancient Power, and I can't really go for Brave Bird here. I can't really swap out of this matchup just yet, because they're just far too healthy, right? I might even consider shielding the second move here. Yeah, I do decide to shield the second one. So I think I misjudged this a little bit. I don't like investing the shield just immediately. I'm going to overfarm and go for another Feather Dance. Just make sure I can live a few more Dragon Breaths and of course a Dragon Claw. This Dragon Claw is going to do absolutely nothing at this point. And I think at this point it is just basically Brave Bird time. The opponent's win con here is to basically call a Feather Dance. Or you could probably put it that it's my lose con to go for that. In comes a Greedent. And we're going to try to get to a move. They cannot much shut us down. So we might be in a decent position here still. And we've got a very good alignment here with Annihilate versus Greedent. We're going to come in here, start punching it down. In comes Charm Clefable. I think if you're going to use Clefable, you have to use Fairy Wind. Charm is such a waste on this Pokemon. This Pokemon has a high damage output with its charge attacks. Using Charm is basically just a waste of this Pokemon. This Pokemon is XL. And having Meteor Mash and a Moonblast that you can spam out is very, very useful with Clefable. If you put it on Charm, you might as well use Gramble. Or you might as well use Gardevoir, Primarina, Sylveon. You might as well use anything else. I think it's just a waste to build an XL. Oh, they actually do go for a very nice catch here. Back onto Greedent. And I think we should be in a decent spot now. All we need to do, I go for the Night Slash to try and get the boost here. I think I actually start panicking in this matchup. I do remember this one. I start panicking because I don't know the charm counts. For future reference here, guys, it's 10 charms to the Moonblast. But I did not know that, so I thought they were lower than this as well, so I'm just making a complete mess of this matchup right here. I'm panicking, the Charmer's got me in shambles. We do get the attack boost, and we do make it to another move. Very, very fortunate right there. But that was getting super close, and yeah, we do manage to take it out. I should have just committed to the Shuttle Ball, because in that moment, I did not know what the count was. I knew that in that matchup, I threw 3 Hydro Cannons, and they may be getting close to the move. Now, we do have a Clefable in the lead. This time, it's on the Fairy Wind moveset, which is a lot better. The opponent's going to fire off a move, and in true Pidgeot fashion, we're going to shield up the first move, right? Do I go for the Brave Bird right here? I think I should be going for the Brave Bird. They come into Registeel. I think, right, if they come into Registeel, you could say, okay, save your Swampert because they're just trying to draw it out. But it kind of is a bit of a funny one because you can just win the zeros with Swampert, but it's quite difficult to win the zeros with Annihilate because, as you can see, you don't have that pressure. However, the opponent shields up that first move, so that makes this match just a lot more comfortable for me. I can basically like shield it once, counter it the whole way down, or I can mudshot it down with Swampert. The opponent goes for another Zap Cannon. We're going to come in here for an aggressive mudshot down. I realize I farm up to 7, they're going to get to the move, right? So I might as well just throw a Hydro and try to get off a Hydro on the Clefable when it comes back. Now here I realize I'm only going to get off one more move, so I'm just going to go straight for the Earthquake. One Moonblast does not KO me, so maybe I should just go for straight double Hydro Cannon. I decided, okay, we'll come in for a snipe, go for the Feather Dance here, and look to basically not take it out and farm it down. Unfortunately, I thought that would have been enough to KO the Clefable at that range, but in comes a Swampert. And once again, guys, I'm making the same mistake over and over again. I'm going for Feather Dance when I should just go for Brave Bird. Boom, the opponent lets it through. And I realize, okay, the opponent's win con here is to basically just let the Feather Dances through and spam Hydro Cannons. So I'm like, right, okay, we're going to go straight for the Brave Bird this time. If the opponent no shields, because they're double debuff, they probably cannot mudshot me down. Back in comes Clefable on 1 HP, and that's a good game. So yeah, like I said, guys, I had a pretty positive day with this team yesterday. I didn't find the Incinerate users that I was hunting for, but I still managed to go positive with Swampert in the back. I did see a few Registeels, and I found a decent amount of people who were just not respecting Brave Bird from Pidgeot, which worked out very, very well for me. In this matchup here, we have the Dragonite match. Again, I think I should just go for Brave Bird and dip. They always call it, guys. They always call it. If you can learn anything from this video, build a Pidgeot. It's a 1 kilometer body. Even if it's not a fully hundoed Pidgeot, if it's a 15, 15, 14, just build it. It's very, very strong. Best body it, because it makes a huge difference. We do go for the Brave Bird on the Skeledirge. I'm going to come in here with Swampert and try to farm it down. Now, as you can see, the Mudshots are not doing that much to Skelly. We're just going to let this first move through. We need some energy, and at this point, I recognize that they safe swap with Skeledirge, which often means they have another Pokemon weak to Swampert in the back. So, like, this is a pretty good droid for Swampert, because you can land heavy damage with the Shadow Ball. I decided to swap straight out, come into my Annihilate, and we actually do get the hard counter down, which is amazing. In comes Jellicent, so not exactly something that's weak to Swampert. I decide to go for a Night Slash right here. The opponent makes a fantastic call there. Shadow Ball would have done a lot of damage. And at this point, I decide to commit the straight Night Slash, because I'm thinking, okay, we've got a lot of energy on Swampert. If I can just basically get this into Hydro Cannon range, we should be chilling here. I make another big mistake here. I'm going to go for a Night Slash. I shield up the Shadow Ball, a fantastic shield. I'm going to go for another Night Slash. The opponent shields it up. And what ends up happening here is the opponent will fire off the move. I am just reaching the Night Slash right here, and I aggro swap into Swampert. I need to commit to the Earthquake right here. I thought a Hydro Cannon from this range would be enough. The opponent very, very wisely lets it go. However, if I went for the Earthquake, they would have got to this move anyway. So I guess I had to throw that, and I tried to go for one counter and a move. Unfortunately, I did not get the broken mechanic in this game, and yeah, that's good games. The opponent made a really good call not shielding up the Shadow Ball bait, so good games to the opponent there, and we do go 2-3 in the final set. I think I went like pretty positive with this team, a couple of 3-2s and a 2-3, so pretty happy with it, and I definitely could have won more matches. I could have won this match for sure, had I thrown the correct charge moves. And overall, actually I did see one Skeledirge with this team, but I do think if you see a lot of Skellies and a lot of like the Poison Darks, which are pretty common, you will have a very good time with this team. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please drop a like in the video, subscribe, feel free to join our Discord community and Twitter, which is in the description down below. And finally, I want to say a big thank you to all of our members on the channel. Your support is very much appreciated, and I want to say a big thank you to you guys. Thank you everybody for watching, have a fantastic rest of your day, I'll catch you all next time.